Welcome to our
Prince Abs and Jess.
I'm Mara.
And I am sure that we've got some mess for you. Well, Mara does.
Yeah. We've got a special topic here today.
Special is a good word.
Because okay. I do feel a little complicated about this because this is a true crime topic. Somebody did lose their life. I would argue that they were murdered, but this case has not yet gone to trial, so all of this is alleged and has not been proven in a court of law. But we have a lot of video footage, and I think, I'm going to allege, and I think Jess agrees with me, that the person we're talking about, in our opinion, is guilty of the things that they are charged with.
Yeah. And I feel like this is less, you can't talk about this without talking about the crime that was committed, the loss of life. But this is more about Miss Thane and her unique behaviors. This is nice. I can put that.
That was very polite. So right off the bat, I'm not going to play anything that actually has. So part of this case is that there is some footage of the actual crime. I'm not going to play any of that because I just don't feel like that's the context of this. That would not be respectful. But do just want to acknowledge somebody lost their life, and that is really sad. And it seems like there was a really sad dynamic between these two people. And I, wish all the best to, she calls him George, but it's Jorge and his family, his daughters. What happened to him was really, really sad. And I am very sad that they don't have their dad still here to take care of them. So
yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You'll see. Well, no, let me not say that.
So with that being said, though, what we're going to focus on is the absolute delusion of the person who is charged with taking the life of Jorge. And that is was his fiance, Sarah Boone.
Delulu is, I thought I was queen of Delulu. Incorrect.
She is Delulu on the level of like a Lori Vallow Daybell.
Yeah, it's dangerous, Delulu.
She's I think the reason we're going to watch a little bit of the interrogation just to give everybody the flavor of it. But I think the reason this case has captivated people so much is just because it's she has the energy that people are talking about when they talk about the concept of a Karen. But it's in reference to a murder investigation. So it creates this sort of dark comedic dissonance that is very bizarre.
That's a good explanation of her energy, her vibe.
So it's I want to say the manager, but her fiance is dead. It's just such a strange approach.
But Mara, she's thirsty.
She is. She is thirsty.
So.
I'm not going to play any of the body cam footage either, but we'll start by walking through some of the crime itself. And then the thing that Jess has not sampled before are the letters that she has been writing to the judge and her attorney for years at this point. So we'll do a little dramatic reading of some of her letters. But so it was a bucolic evening. This is in Florida. This is a Florida woman, not a Florida man, Florida woman. And Sarah and Jorge are having a good day, Jess. It was a good day.
Fun.
Having fun. Games. playing, painting. Oh, wait, what was it? We were painting, doing puzzle, listening to music, and playing. Like, she just keeps repeating. Anyway. And play.
It was a good. She said it was a good day.
Yeah. She said it was a good day. Now, Sarah and Jorge do have a history of domestic violence. We should mention that. It sounds like mostly him against her, but she was also charged at some point. It seems like they had a very mutually unhealthy dynamic. That, you know, it's very hard for people to get out of.
It seemed like he was going to maybe treatment or classes or something. She mentions saying like they were better, but yeah, I know there was charges at least on both sides, so it doesn't sound the best.
Yeah, and she did have an ex-husband who lived nearby with the son that they had together, but it sounds like the son was not with them when this took place. But, you know, so they have this kind of turbulent past, but according to her, everything was great, and they were feeling so playful, Jess, that
they're having fun.
What childhood game did they decide to recreate?
Playing hide and seek.
Okay. Inside a townhouse as 40-year-olds.
You know, I would opt for somewhere with more space, but when the mood strikes you, you kind of just gotta go with it.
You gotta go with it. I don't know. Have you ever lived in a townhouse, Jess?
I have, unfortunately.
I have too. I'm trying to think where I would hide in the townhouse I lived in. I'm not really sure where there was to hide.
Like, it's like once you're out of the bedrooms, there's like probably something under the stairs, a laundry room,
a powder room. Yeah, I don't know. I most townhomes I've been in are not like ideal hide and seek grounds.
Yeah. But you're having fun, so what can I say?
Yeah, nor as an adult, I cannot tell you that I've ever played hide and seek with another, certainly not with another adult. If I have, it has been with a child.
I've tried to do it with Nigel, but he finds me very easily. My dog.
Yeah, he does. He can sniff you out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, just not a comment. So, but that's what she says they were doing, and you know, things just got a little too fancy, a little too free, and somehow Jorge ends up in a suitcase that he hid in.
I still don't understand.
Yeah.
Yes, so suitcase, like one you would travel with somehow.
I mean, I am a fat woman, but even at my slimmest, I'm not sure that I could have gotten myself into a suitcase.
No.
I
mean, maybe I could be in it, but it couldn't close. Like I would be sitting in it, my limbs would be sticking out, you know, like I could sit in it like a tub.
Yeah, so, but Jorge must, you know, be a contortionist legend because he does somehow get in there. And Sarah does zip him in there, which I'm going to say is not a part of the game of hide and seek. It's a very small point, but
the other person, they don't hide you.
They don't hide you. You're So it's a strange story.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, if you're from Florida, sound off in the comments. If there's some sort of version of hide and seek that we're not aware of, but it's all that to say, it's a strange story. And the thing that Sarah agrees to is that she did zip him up in there. She does say she left him room where he could unzip himself. That's what she alleges. And then she does not dispute that she went up to bed and left him there.
But she forgot. She fell asleep on accident.
She fell asleep. She says that many times.
She did not intentionally.
She does it well. In her original version, they've each had 1 or 2 glasses of wine.
Mm-hmm.
We may find that that's less what's actually happened, but so the next morning she wakes up way later than normal. Her ex-husband's been calling her because she's supposed to be picking up her son, and it seems like he is used to her maybe having imbibed too much alcohol and not being able to take care of their son, so seems like he's checking in to make sure that that's still going to happen. She eventually wakes up, goes downstairs, and is like,
ruh-roh.
Whoops. Where I guess I fell asleep. And she gets Jorge out and attempts to revive him ish, but those attempts are unsuccessful. So police come. There is some body camera footage of this that is pretty interesting, because considering she literally just found the person she is supposed to be in love with deceased from her own actions, whether or not they were intentional or on purpose or whatever. Jess, how would you describe her level of concern about that versus her level of concern about cigarettes?
If we rated a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very concerned, extremely concerned, I would say cigarettes, she was a 9. Jorge, his status, his life, his health, his well-being, maybe a 3.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3. Because does not seem to be in the front of her mind. But she needed that nicotine now.
No, she needs those cigarettes. She also wants her Dr. Pepper. She wants her Dr. Pepper. When she cannot get her Dr. Pepper, she does settle for a hose.
Water. She's so thirsty.
So thirsty. And she is very assertive that they have only had a couple of glasses of wine. She repeats this several times in this initial interview. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to next day. She goes in to talk to the police at the police station. She also, in the meantime, very helpfully gave them her phone, like full access to everything. And the police have found some interesting footage on her phone, which I am not going to play because it's very upsetting. And again, I want to try to be respectful of the fact that somebody lost their life. But she goes on for probably 40 minutes about like, Jorge is this alcoholic. She doesn't want to drink. She has to be compos mentis. She has to have her wits about her. So he's this alcoholic, but she can't drink. He wants to be together all the time. She thinks they need space. She did everything to help him. Everybody says that, you know, she was helping him. His parole officer would tell her how much she had helped him. She just, you know, was he had been through a lot of issues, but now he's on the up and up. Like, he's getting better because of her. Yes. And last night was just like a tragic accident. Like,
not intentional.
Not intentional. No malicious content, for sure. Which is a direct quote. And you know, it was just a tragic outcome from hide and go seek. So,
I guess.
Yeah, it happens constantly. Every other day, it feels like, in the news. So eventually, though, the cops are like, okay, we want to show you this video that we found on your phone. And this video is literally her slurring her words. She's clearly intoxicated from the sound of her voice, in my opinion. And you can hear Jorge, you can see the suitcase with him in it. You can hear Jorge literally begging her to let him out. He's telling her he cannot breathe. He's asking her to let him out. And she is saying, fuck you. This is what it feels like when you hit me. This is what it feels like when you cheat on me. Keeps saying, Sarah, Sarah. She says, that's my name. Don't wear it out. It is beyond callous and very clear in terms of like, this was not a playful, fun time.
Nora, it wasn't intentional.
No.
That's important to know.
It was not. And she's like, the police are playing it for her, and she says, guys, you're killing me with this. And it's like, ma'am.
Ma'am.
you are the killer here. So maybe let's dial down. And that's what's remarkable about the whole thing is the nerve, the audacity, the level of aggression she has going.
The victimhood.
Yeah. So I picked just sort of a random section in the middle of this, just so people can get a flavor of what the tone, what you can hear the sound of her voice, and you can get a flavor of sort of just the tone of the discussion. Keep in mind that this is post her literally seeing a video that she recorded of her saying F you and like not letting this man out while he's begging for his life. And this is the when the police are just like literally just telling her that that's what's on the video, this is her tone and energy.
How's it not? You got up off the couch, walked up the flight of stairs, and got in your bed.
Thinking he was going to get out.
And he didn't. And you still didn't go down and
check on him. And it's the whole 30-minute thing that you guys are trying to do. Whatever. It's like, for all I know, it's 10 minutes.
He's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't. I didn't intentionally mean for this to happen.
But you can't tell us why you left him in there and went upstairs. That's my only issue. Like, what am I supposed to write? What do I write?
So my thing is, though, it's what I have a feeling is I went upstairs and just hit the bed kind of thing. But, again, I'm thinking he'll be up here any minute. But then I go out.
But my question is, why didn't you just let him out prior to going up?
I don't know why.
He's begging to be let out. He's not laughing. He's not having fun.
You said this
was supposed to be fun. You were laughing before. Before you said he was laughing, you were laughing. You went upstairs. He had his fingers out of the bag and he was playing. Well, obviously that's not the case.
So are you guys? So what is it you're trying to like?
We're just trying to figure out why.
Why? What?
Why? What was the motivation for leaving him in the bag?
Why he was left in the bag? Why the video?
I didn't have any motivation. It was me. He and I having a great day, fooling around and being stupid. And apparently me going upstairs and hitting the bed, not going to sleep, where it's like, I'm tired now, I'm going to go to sleep.
That's excluding, it's a good analogy for the day, excluding the fact that he's got a bump on the back of his head, a bump on the front of his head, and his lip is busted, and he has a bump on his eye.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. Like, this is not fair at all.
Yes.
That you all are assuming that that's from me.
Where else did it come from?
If you were, say it's opposite, you were in the suitcase and you're asking to be let out, would you hope that that person would let you out? Like, you're asking to be let out of a suitcase, should they not let you out?
Eventually. I'm guessing. I mean, I'm blaming it on the wine.
Blaming it on the wine?
So every time that you guys fight, you both hit each other? So you should have probably gone to jail all those times that he went to jail for domestic?
Well, the one time I did. But he completely trashed the police report. Because that's nothing what happened. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because there's this. So it doesn't matter anything what it is I say. So it makes no difference whatsoever.
It's just you're lying and like you're now changing your story.
Lying about what?
You're now you were drunk.
Oh, I never said that I was drunk.
Exactly, but you did here today. That's okay.
You said earlier.
Everything recorded.
Alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol. Alcohol does a lot to people.
Yes, but I never said I was drunk.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did this sober. You knowingly left them down there sober.
I have already told both of you also that we were both drinking.
Right. Okay. But you want to admit that you were drunk?
I'm telling you all both. Fair.
No, hold on. You had two different neighbors that lived directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom, and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go.
I want to interject that what he was about to tell her was that some of the neighbors wouldn't let her use the bathroom because they know she's a drunk. And then she in turn tells him that it's probably because one of them is there illegally. So that's the kind of person she is that.
I forgot how she said, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? This isn't fair. This isn't fair.
This isn't fair? A man has lost his life. There's like, what?
They're asking you questions.
I'm trying to find the part where she literally just starts yelling at them. Just so bear with me. I'm trying to get to that. And then also when she asks about some of his property.
I love George. Love him. To this day still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what? I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
Why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him. So.
I wouldn't let him out of a suitcase.
Oh gosh. Okay.
We're simply just trying to go through. I mean, again, you gave us a completely different story that you churched up to. This was such a laughing matter.
It was fun. Introduce ourselves. She's just not a nice person. Of him being in the suitcase. Blood and necktie with blood was from the suitcase. Wedding ring. Really? Yes, on Monday.
Okay.
Got it. Perfect. So I don't know if I asked you guys or how I find this out other than talking to his parents, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, probably terrible.
Okay, this is a lot.
How do you guys suggest me finding out about funeral?
That's not even something that's been probably talked about between the family.
They're the ones that are going to release it. We don't.
I just don't want to do something that I'm not supposed to. How do I go about getting his wedding ring, engagement ring?
It's at the medical examiner's office. It'll come to us eventually, and then
it'll be released to the next of kin.
Yeah. Okay.
I bought it for him.
Okay. That is a civil issue. It was on his finger. It goes to them. They're the ones that are going to release it. We don't have any say in that.
So I won't get that back. So for all of this, like, how do I?
Okay, so I know that was a while, but I feel like we have to.
Was stealing something $2 from Target. Is how she treats this.
Yeah, it's like the energy of it is just so bizarre because it's so serious. And she's like literally like, I love George. I'd do anything for him. And they literally are just like, except literally just let him out of a suitcase when he's begging for his life. Like,
so simple. You were right there. I fell in the bed. I just fell in the bed.
Yeah. Okay. And then he and then asking for his wedding ring back is just, she paid for it, Jess.
I won't get that back. No, bitch.
Yeah.
I love her notepad with her. Oh, okay. I've got questions now. Okay. Okay. She's insufferable. It isn't fair. I love her back and forth. Like, I wasn't drunk. I blame it on the wine. I told you guys we were drinking. I wasn't drunk. What is it?
She's just, and she like, it's so clear in this, by the way, that both these detectives hate her. And I think part of it is just that Yeah, she's just like,
they couldn't keep their cool. They're like, you're pissing me off.
No, it just was so insufferable that they could not contain it. But it, like, I understand, because I'm like, she's just so clearly lying about things. And it's just like, yeah, that is so insufferable.
It's like, I don't know what else you want me to tell you. I don't know, the truth.
The truth.
But she's like, what do you mean you don't believe me? I'm telling you. Like, this is what I'm telling you. We're having fun. It wasn't intentional. Ma'am. Maybe it wasn't intentional. Uh-oh, the lipstick fell in your bag. Uh-oh, you walked out of the store. You forgot. But this, like, she really acts like someone has not died. Like, she is just like, oh, this is ridiculous. You guys are wasting my time.
Much less the love, like, theoretically, like, the love of her life, her partner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So anyway, so that just gives people kind of a, just so you can hear her tone when we get to these letters, you kind of have that screeching voice in your head. I know you'll be shocked to hear that at the end of this interrogation, she is in fact arrested. Also, I should mention ACAB, like, it's not that I'm for the police, but these are the cases that they're actually here for, which is like,
yeah. And she is shocked that she cannot go home and get her phone back. So when can I get my phone?
Yeah, when can I get my phone? When can I get the laptop back?
Never.
And she, like, she really thinks I think she thought she could talk her way out of it.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in the letters too.
Not intentional.
Yeah. At one point she literally says, know that. Like, it's like she thinks she can just like I think she really thinks she can convince people that they just don't understand, and if she can get them to understand, then they will let her go.
She's saying, I am an innocent white woman. Listen to me. I loved him. It was an accident. We were having fun. Fell asleep. That's it. And they're like, we literally
Someone
have
is
this
dead.
video. I don't know if you want me
I don't know what you want to tell me. What do you mean? It is.
Yeah, she was convinced. She was like, hey, so when can I get my phone?
Yeah.
Girl.
when can I get the wedding ring?
So
who do I talk to about his funeral arrangements? Like,
you think his family wants to include you on that? Yeah,
exactly. It's like, you think that you're gonna sit with the family on this one? Like, I don't think so. Yeah, so she is arrested at the end of it, but don't worry, when she is arrested, she does make sure to mention that the last time she was arrested, she had a panic attack when they put her in one of the small rooms, so she needs to not be in one of the small rooms. And somebody also needs to make sure that they get her purse and take care of her car that's in the parking lot. So,
oh my God, I hope they got her a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Do they have soda in prison? Oh, I guess you can get it from the canteen or whatever.
Yeah, if somebody put some money on her account.
Probably cost $6 for a Dr. Pepper. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So she is arrested. She's taken into custody. This was right before the coronavirus hit. So this was in like February 2020. Okay. Also, I should mention, because of that, this interrogation stresses me out because the lady cop has a cough the entire time, and I'm like, is that the Rona? Like,
okay, I was wondering. I forgot the timeline because I didn't hear about this when it happened. I think you told me about it last year, this year.
Yeah, I got into this last year, when some of these letters started getting more public. So she goes to prison. There is a delay because of COVID. Like, that was, backing things up. But originally she has a private lawyer. She has him for a while, and when she has him, she waives her right to a speedy trial. Okay, so like, she has waived that right. She did that knowingly under the advisement of counsel. Like, that's a decision she made. But then she and that lawyer have a falling out. Cut to, I know, shocking that she could not get along with this person. Cut to 2022, and she is now on her 6th lawyer.
Are these all court appointed, or does she have money somewhere?
The first one was not, but the subsequent ones were. Because I think she exhausted her funds with the first one.
But the people, wherever they're coming from, the public defender's office, are like, please keep her. And I'm like, damn it, I'm next.
And to be fair, I think some of them had conflicts. Like, I think they had previously represented Jorge in something or something like that. So, to be fair, I don't think every single one of those was irreconcilable differences, but some were. So she's on lawyer number 6, and things are, so she starts writing these letters, and from what I can tell from the legal, you'll hear. I'll make sure I include who she addresses them to, because they get, but from what I've heard from the LawTube commentators on this, like, it is basically never a good idea to write these open letters to the court, because the only way we have them is that she has written them to the judge, and so the judge cannot respond to them, because that would be an ex parte communication without her lawyer present. So he literally cannot respond, which he has told her multiple times, and then he has to put it into the record, like, he has to. So because Florida has these really good, like, sunshine laws, this is why Florida man is even a cliche, is because Florida just has, like, abnormally transparent records laws for criminal cases. Every time these are published, like, almost immediately, the internet has them. So I'm just going to start reading you the progression, because she's on lawyer number 6. His name is Frank Bankowitz. And she just starts having some problems with Frank.
Like, did she think she was reading these letters, and, like, the judge was like, oh, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm just going to read it, and then I'm going to reply directly to you.
I think she did, at least at first. Yeah. Okay, so this is from October 2022. This is addressed to Frank J. Bankowitz, but also it's CC's in the court, which is why we have it. So I just want to get a sense of where we start versus where we end with these letters. Okay. Mr. Bankowitz, I am writing in regards to not hearing from you, and am becoming very concerned after receiving no response to any of my daily calls or from the letters I've sent. As of today, October 3rd, you have been my court-appointed attorney for almost 3 months, 12 weeks, 84 days, and have only spoken to me 3 times. July 14th, a video introduction, 15 minutes. August 2nd, video update, 15 minutes. August 22nd, visit in person, 90 minutes. I have written 2 letters in the meantime. Also, my most recent I sent on 9/12 with no response. I am unaware of the difficulties you are having in communicating with me. Video, phone, letter, in person, especially via phone, which is to me the simplest form of doing so, even if just for a brief moment, which takes only minutes. I believe by you giving me your personal cell number, you're going to answer. I would at least know all is well and have better understanding of the status of some of the things, what to plan on or what I may need to work on. With no open communication, it makes my end more difficult, drawn out, and painful. Please figure out whatever necessary for my phone calls to be answered, which you will be reimbursed for when you submit your costs. It feels at this rate of communication and meetings and you just coming on board and not having all of my discovery to go over still on top of everything else that has to be done, how much longer am I really going to have to be here to the added 32 months already? Especially if we communicate, however, you eventually do so only a little one time a month, if that. As for all of the month of September, I know nothing from not hearing from you. I understand you have other clients, as I am one also, and you've been recuperating from your back. He had like major back surgery, apparently. But remember, please, how long I've been here. You are my 6th attorney, and the magnitude of my case with not knowing what's going on or where you are, how much harder it is for me. Like, it just goes on and on. Too, I am patient, clearly, after all the time already invested and still smiling and willing to go above and beyond whatever we need to do properly to properly and truthfully convey my very convoluted, misunderstood side of everything, which I boldly told you in our meeting last month. I am dedicated, ready to start, overdue. Like, so that's one of the early letters.
she was misunderstood. Did she say that?
Yeah, it's convoluted and misunderstood, Jess. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Wow, she really thinks she's getting out of there.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
I think she truly thinks she's gonna win this. I have to say that is apparent to me.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to also provide context. So our favorite Natalie lawyer chick, love her, is a public defender. Oh yeah, obsessed with Natalie. Hope you're watching this. She's a public defender, and she has read through these. And one thing that she pointed out that I think is really helpful context is that the amount of time that he is spending with her based on what she documents, in her opinion, is completely normal and ethical in terms of like what is typical for public defenders for a non-capital murder case, because death penalty is not on the table here.
Yeah. And
so
if it's not a speedy trial, like he obviously has time to build the case.
Yeah. Like it took time for him to get up to speed to like, and as things go on, like they agreed to put forward a battered woman defense, which I think has some problems with it once you've heard that video. But they're trying to get experts and they're having like delays and the court has to approve things. So like he is doing things. It's just not at the speed she wants. And he's not just like checking in with her all the time to say like, still good. Like he's got other cases. He's, Well,
she should be his priority, Mara, because she didn't mean to do this. So
that's right. You're very right about that. Yeah. So all that to say, like, I think the thing Natalie does agree that, because she alleges throughout this that he like has given her numbers that don't work. And Natalie does agree that if that is true, he should give her a valid number. So we'll concede that. I'm not saying he's perfect, but her energy towards him, I do not think facilitates open communication and like a willingness to go above and beyond.
He probably is like, God damn it.
I'd give her the wrong number too if she were my client. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so that was from October 2022. This is in May 2023. And this is the one that got me into this case because this is just quite a letter. It's 7 pages, so I may not read the whole thing, but I do want to read enough of it to give you a sense of how things have escalated since the original.
Is this still with the same attorney?
Yes, this is still Frank Bankowitz. Okay. Judge Wayne C. Wooten, attorney Frank Bankowitz, whole wide world. That's who it's addressed to. Perspective, Merriam-Webster's dictionary. I wonder how many people are going to actually look up the definition to see if it's the same. I wonder also how many website hits the word perspective will get. And then she gives the definition. Please review so everyone has a clearer, better understanding of my continued concerns, hindrances, questions, and frustrations with the, quote, justice system and the solid, absolute remissness of my case and the due process of due process of? Oh, okay. Due process of. I am and have been waiting very patiently and maintaining what I can maintaining what I can. Sorry, her handwriting is a little difficult. What I can, since no one else has or will, it seems. And I feel at this point, 6 attorneys later, 39 months, almost 3.5 years, which I will make, and not by choice. I need to make all aware of my immense struggle with my extreme mismanagement of my case to date. Let's look at the bigger picture or perspective to get a better view of what I've had more than enough time to see and realize. I'm hoping by doing so, eyes can finally be opened and very overdue, longed for progress and finalization can be had. The growing amass of ignorance, manipulation, slander, and advantageous gain must stop, and must is capitalizing and underlined. My truth needs to be heard, and it is my right. Do not give me rights, expecting me not to fully utilize them. I voted for the president and governor while here in jail, and stop violating what I've been trying to utilize or lessen the value of my capabilities and opportunities. I am not apologetic in any way for being an observant, hardworking, above average, non-stereotypical inmate. I can only imagine, sadly, how others, not as outspoken as myself, have been and are being mistreated, overlooked, and dehumanized. Get it together.
I'll give her that part. There are many being overlooked and dehumanized, but girl, not you.
So that's the beginning of this letter.
Why was I under the impression that these are emailed?
No, they're handwritten. She didn't have access to email.
World.
You know that she would be emailing Mr. Bankowitz's inbox all day, every day if she had an email.
It would be at capacity.
Yeah, full. Cannot accept new messages.
Did she say she voted for the governor? I want to know who she voted for.
Oh, you know who she voted for. So that's the warm-up. Okay, so then this next section is just to the judge. Okay, so this next little bit is to the judge who is in charge of overseeing her case to make sure it is fair.
Yes,
someone that you might want to, be on their good side, like
Mara, she's just speaking her truth. She's being dehumanized.
It's true.
What do you expect her to do?
I know. Okay, so here we go. Number 1. At what point do you evaluate and intercede in a case to make sure there is proper advancement, regular communication between attorney and client, ethical treatment of client is being upheld, timeframes are being met, etc.? Clearly you know of and have known of the prolongation of my difficulties from your comments regarding my letters, but with no intervention from you to change anything for a better, less problematic process. You've told me in the past when I've tried to voice my legitimate concerns to you in the courtroom 5 times total in 3.3 years, and in my letters to save it for my next attorney, if told anything at all. To tell your honor which attorney. I'm on my 6th, who I've not seen in person for another 3-month period. Let's see. Okay. Then she's going on and on about like how Bankwitz isn't meeting with her. Let's see here. Okay. Number 2, why are you enabling my constitutional rights to be continuously violated? And then she just like lists a bunch of amendments. Number 3, why am I being judged for my legitimate letters I write in order to know the status of my case or attorney and how much longer before something substantial occurs in the progress of 3.3 years later, other than the inappropriate prejudgment being made due to the excessive amount of my case information online, bigger and meaner fabrications of my case-sensitive details in which I have not yet seen, an even greater mind-numbing one-sided ignorance. She does love a run-on sentence. We got to give her that. Is a perpetual question mark over a defendant's head the norm during a case due to inactivity, no communication or help or intervention, or answers given by the justice system? Oh God. Okay, number 4, why are you allowing numerous case safety details and protection elements to be breached, violated, and manipulated? Why has a gag order never been implemented? Oh, here's the best. Okay, this was the part that I was truly shooketh about. My case has turned into an unnecessary witch hunt from the innumerable violations of my case details being leaked and racketeered illegally in exchange for website hits, viewer ratings, etc., exchange for money. What is your cut, Your Honor? Are you the one who authorizes the upload to the internet? It's all about how much rather than how did it happen, no matter the destruction it causes in the meantime and is irreparable. It's not even about the suitcase anymore. My case is now a global event with the video receiving over 3 million hits, depending on the website. She just cannot stop.
Girl.
She literally just accused the judge of getting a take of the YouTube ad revenue. Like, what?
Girl.
She just keeps going and going.
What does she think? A public defender who knows where all of their clients are? Like, driving to jails is time consuming. Like, that would be, what does she expect him to come there daily, weekly? Like, that's a lot.
She
but
does.
seeing as that one physical visit, he was there 90 minutes. Nobody has time for that.
Yeah. Let's see. Why have you not been holding this agreement? Even in a 15-minute video visit, she is so bothered by this 15-minute video visit. It comes up all the time. Yeah, like she's saying that she says that they made an agreement previously that they would have a check-in weekly, even if there's no progress. But like, I don't believe that he agreed to that. And I also don't think it's reasonable based on what Natalie was saying of like, that's, if nothing's happening.
Like, that's this obviously is not the same, but it just makes me think of my job with auto claims. If you're like, I'm on the status of my claim, and I'm like, there's nothing to tell you. Your car is being repaired.
Like,
call the body shop. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. They're
like, who do
you called me?
What do I know about it?
There's nothing to tell you. Why would he waste time and minutes or whatever it cost to call you to say, hey, no update, but how are you? That's what she wants. She wants them to be like, but I'm checking in on you. How you holding up since you're in there so anxiously?
Well, and he is in his court appearances, like when he's asking for money for this expert, he mentions a couple of times, like, well, I can't do that date because I have a murder case, like a capital murder case I'm defending in that window. Or like, it's clear he is defending like multiple murder cases at the same time. Not that hers isn't one. I'm not saying that, but like,
if she had any sense, like public defenders are notoriously overworked.
Yeah, like he's overworked, and like in his mind, I mean, again, I don't want to, people are entitled to vigorous representation. Like that is an important part of how the system works. Yes, and Natalie has helped me really strongly believe that. So I'm not trying to say she doesn't deserve good representation, but like my assumption from his perspective is where the case is right now is we're trying to get this expert for the defense. Until that happens,
there's not much you do.
Everything else is kind of.
Do you know when they waive the right to a speedy trial, is there then some kind of time frame, or just as it goes, as you get the experts whenever, or is there like, okay, it's not speedy, but it still has to be within 5 years or something like that? Do you know if that's
so? It sounds like, just based on the legal YouTubers I've seen commentating, I'm not sure if there's a specific statute, but yes, like it is an appealable thing if the judge hasn't like had good trial maintenance of like trying to get the trial off. So like if it's the judge just pushing things out for no reason, then yes, I think that can be an appealable issue. But in this case, the reason it's taking so long is because she's been through so many lawyers.
Yeah.
Plus COVID.
And who for the public defender, is it then the state that for witness the experts? So he's like appealing to the state to cover it?
So yes. So there's like a there was, I forget who it was, but I saw somebody do a video explaining this part. I guess every state has like an office who is in charge of the resources allocated for different cases in terms of like the budgeting that the defense gets in the public defender's office. And it sounds like this is another like problem of there being so many attorneys. A previous attorney had gotten approval and had paid for a different expert. And the new expert with this new theory of the case costs a lot more, and like it would make her total budget, like it would exceed the total budget for the case, which is not ideal. Like, I mean, if we think about it in terms of like the justice system, like ideally we would give people pretty generous resources, but apparently it's funded every year by that state's Congress, and Florida apparently like cut the budget drastically this year. So like,
not shocked.
I know, shock. So it was interesting to learn about, but yeah, basically like the issue at hand is like, hey, can we go like way over budget get this new expert. Which they have to have if they want to argue battered woman. Like, they have to have an expert psychologist who will say that she was battered and that's why she did this.
Domestic violence is a real thing. Some people suffer from it. It seems like she was a victim of domestic violence and possibly a perpetrator. But from what I have seen, obviously we didn't show here to be respectful, but if you have seen one, even just the full interrogation and then the videos that they find on her phone, I'm just not finding that's I wouldn't believe it. Let me just say, if I was on the trial with the jury, which I would be, and all, which I'm sure those videos will be evidence, that would be hard for me to believe.
Yeah.
In that was not some like fight or flight. That was not. But I don't know. I'm not an expert, so. But that's interesting. I thought about with experts for people who are being defended by, or like have a public defender.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I mean, like, yeah, it's just hard because I want people to have them to have good ethical representation. I also understand that there's limited resources and you have to have enough money for everybody to be able to have access to. So I tend to agree with you. I would not believe a battered woman defense based on seeing those videos / her interrogation and these letters, which are on the record and could come into trial.
Right after, the morning of I just, as we have learned from Natalie, that everyone deserves a vigorous,
either, I think,
defense. And so I feel like, I don't want to say it should just be like no limits and millions, but I don't feel like there should be like a certain cap, because just because this person is not a billionaire who can spend $25,000 to hire every other expert. But she's mostly bananas, but she has a few, she hit on a few things in them letters about the justice system, because I very much refer to it as the justice system.
Oh, I don't disagree with her about that. I think the irony, I think what's ironic here is that, she's got this energy and it's like, see, like, you're the exception to this, my friend. like we literally have
you're not being railroaded by this system. You just brought on yourself. Like,
we've literally paid for like 6 different attorneys for you. Like,
you're on some different plane, a different dimension than we are here in reality, where we she is off in outer space. Like, a lot of the times I would say yes. In your case, man.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and so there's more I think more than a dozen letters, but we're not going to go through all of them. But it culminates in a filing from good old Frank Bankowitz on August 22nd, 2023. Motion to withdraw as counsel is submitted. And
what do they have to have? Has it been approved?
Well, I've got to read you this because it's so shady. It's great. Let's see. So comes now Frank J. Bankowitz, counsel for the defendant in the above styled cause, and hereby requests this court to enter an order permitting court-appointed counsel to withdraw from the case and from further representation of the defendant. In support of such motion, the undersigned states to the court as follows. On or about July 11th, he was appointed. Number 2, due to irreconcilable differences which have arisen between the undersigned and his client, the undersigned will be unable to effectively and properly continue representing the defendant herein. 3, the defendant will not be satisfied with any attorney unless said attorney does not have a caseload and can dedicate his or her time solely to Miss Boone's case. 4, the undersigned has been in murder trials over the past 60 days and is presently defending a capital murder case in Lake County, Florida, which absorbs all of his time, including weekends. 5, the best possible avenue is to have the defendant represent herself, as no attorney can satisfy her.
Ooh. You know what? I'm actually surprised she hasn't asked to do that from the start. She seems very like, she gives me that Derek Brooks energy. Like, oh, nobody could do it better than me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised she hasn't tried to do that. And then she writes,
Judge, I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm booked and busy.
I am booked and busy, and I do not have time to give her all of my attention.
She said, one case only. I can be your only focus.
Yeah. And then she writes another letter to the judge saying that she's glad he's asked to withdraw. She calls him a buffoon.
Oh my God.
She's just ranting, and
it's gonna help her. Oh my God.
I don't know. And she's just it's so counterproductive to what she is trying to get done. So anyway, the hearing is pretty funny because Bankowitz is like, I just don't see how we can go on when she's literally calling me a buffoon. You've read her letters. Like, I don't know what to do about this. Like, she doesn't trust me to represent her. Like, we cannot have a productive working relationship. We've got to move on. Yeah. So good old Judge Wooten does grant the request for him to withdraw. So good old Frankie Banks is off the case. And Frankie. He has appointed some other poor sucker from the public defender's office. And he gives her a stern. You know that whoever this was is like, fuck. He does give her a stern talking to, though, and says, yes, he's like, there are not an infinite number of attorneys. I am going to decide to give you the benefit of the doubt for everything that has happened up until this point. If this continues, we will start talking about different consequences. I hope you can think about that. I want to be clear that you have a public defender who cannot devote all of their time to you. If that is your expectation, it is not the right expectation. So have a think about that, and we'll talk again when you have a new attorney, basically.
I mean, even if I are a private attorney, a lot of the times they have other cases, unless for some reason you're stupid rich and can buy out all of their time, which does not
exactly
seem like. Again, she's living on some delusional plane. So wait, did she have another attorney yet? She did already appoint them.
Yeah, she does have a new attorney, but they have not made any appearances on her behalf yet that I have seen covered. So
I'm sure she's mad about that.
Well, and he did also tell her when he allowed Bankowitz to withdraw, he's like, you do know that this means that this is going to take longer, right? Like, you do know that this means that this is going to get delayed again. So I think when we're recording this, it's October. I think that the first appearance is later this month, and they're going to try to do the trial before the end of the year, but every person I've seen on LawTube has said that there's no way that's going to happen. So I think that we'll be doing good to have this trial next spring.
Yeah, I was going to say, with it being October, I don't know how long it takes them to get caught up on the case, but if they're still trying to get that seems really quick. So does every time she gets a new attorney, does that take away from the fund or no?
I don't think so.
He has paid for his time, right? But that doesn't take away from like what she has for her defense.
I don't think so. I think it's just like the experts.
Okay.
And it's I totally understand, like I think there should be more funding for it, but I do understand from the office that manages its perspective, it's like I only have so much money from the budget. Mm-hmm. And I have X number of people who have to share this money. So like if I grant every request she has, then this person doesn't have anything.
She would eat up the entire state's budget if you let her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah.
I wonder if if she acts a fool again and another public defender is like, no, I wonder what the consequences would be, like, from the judge. Like, would they just be getting, you don't get a trial by jury? But he can't take that away. That's a constitutional. But like, I wonder what the consequences would be if she just keeps being a fool.
I don't know. And I've never heard, like, I've heard some of the LawTube people kind of like dance around that, but it sounds like it's really, they've all said that they, like the judge has said, and then all of the commentators have also said, like, she does not have the right to an infinite number of attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like a delay tactic, I guess, that some prisoners use to like delay the trial if they're pretty sure they're going to get convicted and they'd rather stay in the jail versus going to prison.
Yeah.
So there must be some procedures for when that happens, but it sounds like nobody wants it to get to that point. I think part of the problem is that she wants them to do defenses that they can't or won't do. And she doesn't understand, from the way it's been described to me, it sounds like she doesn't, like, it's ultimately up to the lawyer to put on a defense. Like, they should take the client's wishes into things, but they're the ones who make the final calls, except about your right to testify. Like, that's your call. But like,
yeah,
everything else
they're like,
is,
sure, this is your defense, but this is not going to make sense. There's no way I can present this as like a plausible defense.
Yeah. Or it might be like an illegal defense. Like, she wants to say something that they like are not allowed to like, we don't know exactly what's going on. Luckily, I mean, we shouldn't know because that's confidential. Yeah. But that's kind of what I'm inferring from some of this, is that she wants to do or say things that the lawyers are like, we can't do that.
I'm sure those conversations are wild. But she's like, okay, here, I've been thinking. They're like, no.
Stop thinking.
And no.
I need you to do a little less thinking and a little more listening. A little less talking.
Seventh attorney. My God.
Seventh attorney. Yeah, so that's the wild and woolly Sarah Boone situation. Rest in peace, Jorge. I hope we have made it clear that the levity here is at her and not at his expense at all, because that poor man did not deserve to be murdered in that way, in my opinion. Well, he certainly was killed. I believe it was murder. That's my opinion.
Or he didn't deserve that at all. And she's just delusional bat. I don't even know what to, my word. Just, yeah. I will next spring. Speaking of waiving speedy trials, when do you think Chad Daybell's trial is going to be? Do we have a trial date yet?
I think it's sometime next year.
Ooh.
Like later this year, next year. Yeah. If I were him, I'd be trying to get whatever deal I can get.
Hello? These people, you can look, I'm knocking on wood. I hope I'm never in that position, but like, what plea is on the table? Excuse me? Ooh, wow. Sarah.
At some point, you got to know when to fold them.
Hey.
That's the other thing. She could have taken a plea probably and been like a third of the way through her sentence by now.
She probably wouldn't have gotten more than like 10 or 15.
Probably not even. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she could plead down to like manslaughter or something and get like 9.
They'd be lowering the sentencing. I mean, that's a whole other thing. But I'd be flabbergasted. I'm like, so wait, this person committed grand larceny, which, okay, and he got 30 years. But this person ended someone's life. Maybe it wasn't grand. And they got 8.
Or like, one person's convicted of raping someone and gets like community service and a fine, and somebody else cheats on their taxes and is like goes away for 20 years. Like, what are you talking about?
Federal prison. Again, this is not related to this, but I say this daily in my job because every state has different insurance laws, and I am very anti-states' rights. I hate them. I hate them. Every state is different.
Yeah, I come across that in my job a lot too.
Drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
This world. Well, you know, Sarah, you might have. It makes me think of this TikTok, and it's like you ate with that one little thing. You ate with that one little thing. She had a few little hits, and I'm like, okay, but then the rest of it, you're like, girl, bye. Go ahead, go on someplace. Oh, please don't die. Are you alive? What's happening? You got the hiccups? Y'all, I might be losing my co-host in real time. Lord, don't take her now. Mara, stay strong.
I'm sorry. I choked on my own spit, and then it made me cough and sneeze.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, so that was another week without child abuse. And
so be grateful because it's back after this.
Yeah.
So you had a break.
You had a good long break.
Yeah.
We had some restraint, I feel like.
If there's 2 back-to-back, you're gonna have to stay strong. You'll be able to have a stack.
It's not our fault people are terrible.
Literally, because we have we'll be talking about Jill Duggar's book, my book report tomorrow. And then 8 Passengers. Why did I turn on Hulu last night and there's already some like I don't think it's like a TV show, but it might be like a CNBC or something, but it was like Ruby Frankie was on my TV. I'm like, oh, you disgust me.
Well, it's definitely captivated the nation. And it's like those of us who've been out here in these Twitter street or these YouTube streets have known about this for years, and you guys have done nothing. So whatever.
I was gonna say, I don't want this to sound weird to say I'm waiting for like I want, but I'm not going to be surprised if this happens again, or like there's another one of these family vloggers that comes out about her. Surprised it took this long, actually. Like I know there's been other like stories, but I don't feel like they've been like this.
Daddy 05. Yeah, the last big one was Daddy 05, but even that wasn't as big as this has been. And the abuse was not as severe.
Yeah. Which I'm glad.
Yeah, I am too. But
I know there's, especially, not trying to paint all religious people abusive, but usually or often when there is religion involved, it can be more religion. And then, which always, I'm not going to get into that, but when people are super uber religious and talk about these scriptures and all this stuff, and I'm like, and yet you're out here monetizing your family profit. That's funny. That's weird. I know social media ain't in the B-blade, but I'm just saying, if y'all can modify things to present times, I would think there's some scripture in there about not, I don't know, using your family as a income stream. I don't know.
I mean, American Christianity's true God is money. So
you said a word. Yeah. Speaking of, I don't know if I've sent that to you about, you know, the Bates who are friends with Duggars.
Yep.
Have you seen that about Trace and his wife, Lydia, who her family escaped from Germany as they came to the States as refugees because Germany wouldn't homeschool their children, and now they may be getting deported. And now they're like, oh, these are good working people. Oh, it's funny. Now you care about people getting deported.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, my guess is you have consistently voted for someone for years who has made it a lot easier to deport people. So yeah, thoughts and prayers.
Sorrows, prayers. That's Queen Charlotte.
Yeah. So stay tuned for some religious skullduggery in the Duggar Duggar Ep.
Yeah.
A follow-up Duggar Ep coming at you soon. And yeah, Jess, where can people find you?
Occasionally if I remember to make a video on YouTube, it's Jess Owens. Instagram, said by Jess. TikTok, said by Jess. That's really it. One day I will remember to give you my Tumblr handle. That day is not today. What about you?
I'm on the YouTube, Instagram, Goodreads, and TikTok is Books Like Whoa. And you can find me in mess, wherever it may be.
In all forms. I mean, I feel like we don't discriminate with mess. It could be religious, financial, relationship, politics,
criminal.
We love
all of it
equally. Equal opportunist. I don't know.
Until mess time.
Bye.
We'll close these tabs. And goodbye. Bye.